August 17th, August 17th, August 17th, August 17th. There, I got it all out of the way. That's not what we're talking about today. That's all that's everyone and anyone's talking about in the real estate industry right now is August 17th. But we're not talking about that today. Welcome to BAM. We're going to talk about today, right? We're talking about today, which is August 2nd. And then we're also going to talk about August 18th. What happens on August 18th? Because guess what? You still have a real estate business to run. Am I right? You have a real estate business to run. And no matter what business you think you're in, one thing that we all know is true, and it has been true, is true now, and will also be true on August 18th. You have to generate leads. You are in the lead generation business. Our job, our duty is to help buyers and sellers. That's what we do around here. And the first thing you got to do is find them. So that's what we're talking about today. I'm Tony King. I'm hosting BAM, and I have the opportunity to chat with you. Shout out to my brother, Russ Lagan. He's off changing the world, one brokerage at a time. And also, if you really want to know about August 17th and what to do and how to do it, go check out the other video that we just dropped as well with the incredible Holly Money Mayberry and our fabulous CEO, Leo. And they rocked that video yesterday as well. So check that out. But today, we're talking about leads, and I have none other than the incredible Dawn Consitori. She is the vice president of affiliated services. What the heck does that mean? I've never heard of affiliated services. I got you. That's what we're here to talk about. We're also going to be chatting with Chief Learning Officer Brian Ellington. Y'all know him. And then knockout Nolly Williams. We'll get to him in a minute. But first, let's talk leads with the vice president of affiliated services. I'm going to rename her title right now. She's the vice president of leads, or maybe the queen of leads, Dawn Consitori. So, Dawn, how are you, queen of leads? Tell us about yourself, and let's talk about some leads.
Hey, Tony, it is so exciting to be here. And you know what? August 17th, big day, but which company is ready? EXP, we are so ready for what's coming up. But I'm so excited to be here today to talk about leads with our agents and you, Tony. There's been so much excitement going on with this, and the growth has been just outstanding. And I can't wait to share it with you.
I love it. I love it. So tell us about what is affiliated services. First of all, what kind of impact are you all having and have you had, say, over the past 24 months or so, the past couple of years? Because your team has been behind the scenes, rocking it, filling agents' pockets, filling agents' pipelines, filling their businesses with leads. And I feel like you don't get enough credit, enough spotlight, enough shine. So that's what we're going to do today, is talk about not only what your team has been doing, but how other agents can tap into it if they don't know about it, or if they're not currently utilizing your services and what your team does.
Sure. Tony, affiliated services is Revenos, which is EXP's referral engine, as well as solutions. So Revenos, we're going to go over exactly all the different business units under Revenos, how our agents can go ahead and capture leads to grow their business on a daily basis. And also some of the really exciting things is we have over just under 25,000 EXP agents that are certified for Revenos business. It's tremendous.
Wow.
And some of the other numbers that we have is, when you go back and you look from when we started this, it'll be 4 years ago this coming January, that we started EXP Revenos. And basically, I came here to start relocation, REO, which is foreclosures, and affinity business, which is everybody that moves outside of relocation and REO. And the first year, Tony, we brought in like 1,250 referrals. The second year, we brought in just over 5,000. Last year, we hit over 22,800 referrals. And I'm really excited to say that this year we have already—
Hang on, honey.
Wait. Okay.
Last year, you guys sent 22,000 referrals to EXP agents.
Correct.
My gosh. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we got to give that some space to breathe. 22,000 leads. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And then this year, we have already brought in fact, this coming week, we're just going to hit over 28,000 referrals, and we're only halfway through the year. So we more than
28,000 year to date, 28,000 lead opportunities, referrals to agents this year to date. I need a button, Randy. We need a button or something that I can just push and it shoots rocket ships and stuff everywhere. That is such a big freaking deal. So tell us about how the program works. Tell us about how agents can get tapped into it.
Sure. And I'm going to go ahead and have some slides here for you. And really, there's only one way that this can happen. And the way it can happen is that we've got a great Revenos team, but better than that, Tony, it's our agents. Our agents are the boots on the ground. They're the ones that make it happen. We can only bring in the business. It's our agents that are actually delivering it. And because they're doing such a great job through our certification and the quality of the agents that we have at EXP, our clients are giving us more and more business, that's where the excitement is, and that's what really gets EXP's affinity team. And this is our leadership on the Revenos team, and here are the people behind the scenes. So when you get those referrals from Revenos, these are the people behind the scenes that are making it happen, and they're fighting for you to make sure that you can get that business. Because a lot of the clients come in and they didn't know EXP. I mean, we really 3.5 years ago from the referral network, we were not really a known entity. And this year we've already been recognized 3 times by relocation clients. In recognized for our superior performance that our agents and the Revenos team has done. But let's just look at the closed sales volume, Tony. This to me is really kind of what says it.
Oh my gosh. You're giving me a heart attack here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So again, when we talk about 2021, we're at 247 million. 2022 was 633 million. Last year, 2023, we closed over $1.1 billion in closed sales volume. And this year, we've already closed over 715 million. Again, we've got half the year left. So what EXP agents and the Revenos team are able to do together is truly unbelievable.
I love it. I love it. And this is such an incredible platform that we put together to be able to help. It's a scary time right now, right? A lot of agents are wondering what's going to happen after the settlement, after these changes take effect, and what do I do right now? And then what am I going to do next? And how am I going to provide for my family? This is a great way to supplement your current existing real estate business. It's also a great way to fill out your pipeline. And by the way, each one of these leads, one of these referrals, when it comes to you, that person that the Revenos team sends to you, that person has a network as well, right? So we got to get back to the basics of tap rooting and digging into our sphere of influence. And all of these folks that come to you effectively have their own sphere of influence that you can tap into. So that's a huge undertapped resource that a lot of our agents need to really tap into. Would you agree?
And Tony, absolutely. And you know what? Buyers and sellers are still going to move. It doesn't matter how the industry is going to work. They have been moving from day one. And I've been in the relocation industry almost 30 years. Really, there have been just some subtle changes throughout the time. This is just another one of those changes. We're going to continue to do business. We're going to continue to grow the business, and we're going to continue to dominate the industry. But Tony, I think what's really important that our agents need to know where the business comes from, and about 8.9% of the population moves every single year. It's about 27 to 28 million people. They move every single year. Only 20% of that is corporate relocation. People fight for relocation, but it's really one of the smallest pieces of the pie. About 15% is military and other, and I would throw REO in there, which is foreclosures. But really, it's about the 17.5 million moves. These are the people that move on their own every single year. How do we focus and capture more of that business, Tony? That's the real question, the real key. And that's what Revenos does. Revenos, we go ahead and we go after that business. So the different business units that we've started over the last 3.5 years has been EXP Relocation, EXP Affinity. Those are the people that move on their own. Bundle Select, which is our newest business opportunity, which the agents are, it's really exciting. We have our Institutional Investment Services led by Mark Woodling. That is doing great. Our Making It Rain and Express Offers, those 2 business units were with us, but we've made some dramatic changes in those business units, and we're continuing to do so. EXP REO, which is foreclosures, and our Honor Military Rewards program, which we're also working on right now. But this gives you an idea of here are the different business units that we have, Tony, and I'm going to go into a little bit more information on them as we go through. So, Tony, I want to make sure that the agents know what the different business units are and how they get certified. Okay, so that's the key thing. Tony, any questions that you have on this?
I'm shutting my mouth. Like, we have a very limited time. I want you to get all this in. Please go.
So EXPCon, if you come to EXPCon, if you do all the business certifications for Revenos, you can take there on the fast track. So instead of 12 hours of training, instead of 6 hours of training, you can get it in 3 hours. It is jam-packed, and you can take them every day. So we're really excited about that. Corporate relocation, the companies are usually paying for their moves. There are 4 training modules. And REO, this is bank-owned properties. We have 4 training modules for this. We have relationships with many of the largest banks and hedge funds. Affinity, this is really where the biggest piece of the business is, 17.5 million moves every year. We've got 1 training module for that. It's 3 hours. Come to EXPCon and you'll be able to get it there. Our institutional investment services, this is our national investor-centric brokerage service that we call IIS, or Institutional Investment Services. Ultimately, we're driving institutional leads to our agents, and we have grown dramatically on that. Our Honors Military Awards, this is honoring our active veterans and retired service members from our armed forces. We want to go ahead and give back to them, and we honor them for what they've done for the United States. And express offers, we actually have created some new things in the express offers. Terrence Clark has been working on that. We're providing a proprietary iBuying software platform. We are bringing in new iBuyers every day. The process has been changed and shortened and made much easier for our agents. So we're really excited about that. Making It Rain, this is where we create digital marketing ads for our agents. And instead of them paying a referral fee after, when it closes, they're paying a small monthly fee up front, and then they control those leads. So that's
Hang on, wait. I'm sorry, I can't. Go back.
Ahead.
We are creating digital leads, digital ads for our agents. Can you break that down? What does that mean?
Sure. So an agent, instead of us giving them the referral and they pay anywhere from a 40 to 55% referral fee after, we actually, for a monthly fee, it can start at $250 a month to maybe $1,200 a month, depending on the breadth and depth of the marketing program that we create for them based on what they're asking for. But we create digital marketing campaigns that we run for those agents. And then when the referrals come in, they come directly to the agent. The agent does not have to pay a referral fee because they paid for it up front. And we have agents that are doing this. They've got it built into their marketing plan every month. And it's pretty amazing, led by Kevin Kamitsky. He's done a great job on this.
So effectively what we've done is and what agents are able to do is make EXP their advertising agency, right? With all of our resources and all of our know-how and tech savvy and all those things, marketing prowess, you can utilize EXP, make us your advertising department, and we will make it rain for you. We make it rain leads and make it rain some this monies too. So that's absolutely incredible. I love that. And again, I there's not one call that I've been on in terms of the growth calls. I'm on the call 24/7 pretty much with teams and broker owners and even individual agents that are influencers. And that's one thing that everybody wants is more leads, more leads, more leads. We need more. Right. We got to talk about this. If you're not talking about it in your traction conversations, I don't know what you're doing. If you're not using it as an agent, I don't know what you're doing, right? This is the perfect time to shore up that part of your business.
And our newest piece right now is Bundle Select. And why are we here? It's all about leverage. And this helps our agents leverage their spheres of influence. So we've had agents that have brought in large companies as well as small companies, and they're actually being promoted by those corporations to the employees or the members of those organizations for free. There's no cost to the corporation. There's no cost to the employees. And we have some of the biggest names. We already have Adobe, Salesforce, Visa, Progressive, you name it. We've got churches, school districts, police departments, fire departments, medical centers. It is amazing what our agents have brought in, leveraging their sphere of influence. So we invite all our agents to come to our Bundle Select certification, which will also be at EXPCon, and they'll be able to learn more about it, how to do it, and leverage their everyday friends, people that they know, their relatives. It's really an amazing new piece of business that we're offering right now.
That's incredible. And yes, we're going to talk about EXPCon. If you're not registered, by the way, we'll talk about that later. But yes, EXPCon is incredible. How does someone get a hold of you? We talked about how they can certify, right? They'll do that. EXPCon, Fast Track. That's a great place to do it. But how does someone get a hold of you and your team?
Okay, the best way to get a hold of us is Workplace Chat. We're receiving probably 1,000 emails every 2 to 3 days. So email is the worst place to reach us. The best place is Workplace Chat. And here are the QR codes for you for each one of the business units. Go ahead and copy these QR codes. Take a snapshot of them. In each one of the Workplace Chat groups, there is a pinned post. That pinned post has everything from how to reach us to the Revenos training calendar, if they want to take it before EXPCon or during the year. And this really gives you all the information about each business unit, how it works, what the expectations are. And when we have a new client that's coming in and they're going to be giving us 1,000 new referrals a month, that's where we put this information in, Tony. So our agents know it. You need to be on the inside to understand and know when these new pieces of business are coming through, so you can get right in and be one of our agents that handles the business for us and does such an outstanding job on our referrals.
I love it. Team leaders, by all, you have agents that always sort of wonder what's behind the curtain. How come some agents crush it at EXP and other ones don't? It's the ones that know, right? It's the ones that know. And Dawn just broke open the whole playbook for you. All you have to do is get into contact with her and her team, and we will get you the leads. We'll get you the business so you can have the business of your dreams going into this market and to whatever comes next. So thank you so much, Dawn, the queen of leads. Now you'll see why I call her the queen of leads. She's my go-to person. We got somebody that needs some leads. I say, hey, talk to Dawn. And she right away, she pops their business off. So thank you so much, Dawn. You're an incredible asset to this company, and you've been rocking it for a long time. So
thanks.
I'm glad we're able to get a hold of you.
Thanks, and thanks to the agents for doing such a great job, so that we've been able to grow all this business, and the Revenos team. Appreciate them all.
I love it. I got questions. We're out of time. If you got questions, hit Dawn on Workplace. You just heard her. That's it. Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.
Now, but we're not done talking about leads, y'all. Don't worry, we're not done talking about leads. I have our incredible Chief Learning Officer, Mr. Brian Ellington. He's even talking about leads. He got another lead generation mastermind in the form of Knockout Nolly Williams. That's who he's going to be tapping. And Nolly has an incredible class that teaches you how to generate what kind of leads? Listing leads. Because again, the industry's changing. August 18th, right? August 18th, you're going to wake up in the morning. You're going to be like, yo, I really need more listings in my life. Well, we got you. Don't worry. You're at EXP. We got you. You need listing leads. What if I hooked you up with a guy that did over 1,000 listings in 1 year? What if we could crack open his playbook and show you how to do it? What if he did a free training that showed you for a whole hour what he did, how he can do it, and how you can do it too? Oh, yeah, we do got that, by the way. His name is Incredible Knockout Nolly Williams, but let's talk to Brian Ellington first. Let's hear about what Brian's got cooking.
All right, thank you guys so much. Hey, just a couple of quick updates from the university before we jump into today's guest. FastCap is wrapping up today. I can't wait to come back next week and share some of the final results. The gang through that FastCap program has just been crushing it in terms of conversations, appointments, agreements, and all the things they've been doing to build their real estate business. Congratulations to you all on hitting today. This month, August 20th, starts the next Kickstart. So if you haven't registered for that yet, that's a great training program, really focused on productivity. August 20th, you can go to expuniversity.com to register for that. Speaking of registering, if you've not yet registered for EXPCon, man, we are excited. We have literally doubled the number of breakout sessions that we're going to be offering at EXPCon in Miami at the end of October. And we will have tracks for emerging agents, icon agents, team leaders, and more. Specialties, commercial, luxury. Can't wait to see you there. Please go register. Now, next week on the Big Agent Meeting, because of the whole NAR settlement, we're going to be focused on helping you set up your buyer value proposition. You're curious what you can do to augment your buyer value proposition so that you can charge whatever fees you want to charge on your buy side. Come join us for that one and more. That's next Friday. But today, as we are getting ready for the new world order of the new NAR changes starting later this month, we decided to bring our friend Nolly Williams back. Now, Nolly's our resident expert at seller lead gen. And you know who's not worried about getting buyers to sign buyer representation agreements are people who are going on listing appointments, getting the listings and setting their own commission rates with their sellers. So we thought, let's have Nolly come back in. So Nolly, would you mind joining us? Hey, friend, how are you?
Man, I am excited, Brian. So excited to be here again, brother. And you hit it on the head, man, with this in this post-NAR world that we all are enjoying. Listings, seller listings is the game. Absolutely. No doubt.
Yeah. And listen, that's always been the case. And likely it always will be. The cool thing on the buy side now is you get to set your commission rates just like you do on the listing side. But the great thing about having a listing is that most buyers won't let you hang a sign around their neck that says Brian is the best realtor in the world. Well, your sellers will let you put one right out in their front yard, right? And that is a very marketable thing, having a listing. So we want to talk all things listing lead gen. And it's funny when you and I were talking, and by the way, thank you so much for having done the market, master the market, boost your listings with Nolly this week with the university. If you didn't get a chance to check that out, it's a free session that he did as part of our Level Up series. Amazing, amazing program. But we want to talk about some of the things that they're going to be learning from you, both in that training, but also too in the Elevate coaching, which is a much longer program, 6-week program designed to help them with their seller lead generation strategy. Now, when you and I were talking about this, you started in an interesting place. You said, well, instead of talking about tactics and strategies right away, first we got to address the elephant in the room. And what is that for you?
Yeah, the big elephant in the room is really mindset. You know, it's been overplayed, overused. But when you think about mindset, it's how are you setting your mind? That's all. How are you setting your mind? How are you setting your mind up for success? And whenever I ask, agents in general, why aren't you dominating in listings? Why aren't you taking more listings? You know that listings is what you should be focused on. Why aren't you focused there? And I tell you, Brian, the number one reason when they really drill down and past all the excuses is, and you might be one of those that says, man, I love working with buyers. I just like working. I get all that. But at the end of the day, it really boils down a lot of times to lack of confidence and fear. The same reason why many of us don't focus on the luxury market. Okay. And I teach both. So here's the thing. When it comes to that, and you may be even asking yourself right now, why haven't I been going after more listings? I know I should have taken up. Don't forget about that. It doesn't matter. Today's the day to begin. And the truth of the matter is that there are within us as human beings, we have a subconscious and a conscious mind. Okay. I'm going to quickly talk about this because I study this I've been studying this for decades. Now, in the subconscious mind, we used to think that 88% of the things that we do every day originate in the subconscious. We now know that it's actually 95%. According to science, it's 95%. So 95% of the things that you do every day are autonomic in nature. And the only way for you to get better results is not to change the 5%. What is the 5%? It's learning the scripts, very important. Learning what to say, very important. Learning how to do the listing presentation, very important. And all the other stuff, the tactical stuff, very, very important. However, what's even more important, if you want to become a listing machine, is learning how to reprogram your subconscious mind so that you actually become a listing machine almost at the DNA level. So that's really the big elephant in the room is how do we overcome the fear of focusing on listings, the fear of prospecting in general, and the fear of being that agent in town that is the top mega agent that you already know you should be.
Yeah, I suspect it's kind of a double sword for a lot of us, right?
Yeah.
The first is a lot of us just have hesitation when it comes to prospecting in general. And then on top of that, a lot of us who haven't yet gotten into the habit of taking listings, it's an unfamiliar territory. And we're worried about the questions the seller might ask, which, by the way, 90% of the worries that you have about what questions sellers might ask, they're not going to ask. Particularly if you're lead generating on a consistent basis, they're going to see your face everywhere. They're going to think you are the person for that area anyways. And there's going to be a lot of assumptions they make about you, questions they never ask you. But when you and I were talking, you shared that there's a technique for changing that fear.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that?
Man, it's so exciting, Brian. It's super exciting. And in fact, there's only 5 reasons that agents don't prospect and don't lead generate. We won't get into that. I do get into that in the EXP Elevate course, but let me give you a real quick technique, super easy. So here's how you transmutate fear into excitement. Because what happens is when let's say, for example, you're pulling into the listing, they've asked you to come out and take a look at the house. They might be listing with you. They're interviewing agents. All right. So you pull in and you're trying to figure out, okay, where do I park? Do I park across the street? Don't want to park in the driveway. Do I park on? So you figure out where to park, you slide in, and then what hits you is fear, panic. You start to get that, you're shaking a little bit, the perspiration is going a little bit, and you're nervous. Okay. And here's how you transmutate fear into excitement. Smile. A smile. Here's the thing. If I was on a game show, okay, and I just want to, let's say I want a brand new car, or the car of my dreams, I'm shaking, I'm excited, but I'm smiling, I'm jumping up and down. I've got a smile on my face. Now, if you're afraid, you're kind of, it's the same reaction, but you don't have a smile. And people are like, man, what's wrong with this gal? Now I'm exaggerating because we don't exhibit fear to that level, but the fear still, again, you have to study this. There's a lot of books that I've read about the subconscious and how we, how our feelings show up. We're very good at reading each other's feelings, by the way. And so it'll play out like they're like, man, I don't know. There's something about that guy. I don't know. He seems like a nice guy, but there's just something. It's because of the fact that you weren't relaxed, and so when you have a smile on your face, even though you're fearful, it's like, golly, this guy's excited. He can't wait to get his hands on my house. It's a very simple technique.
And you're right. We've all been around those people who are so uncomfortable in their own skin. It just makes you uncomfortable in some weird way. And it really does. Yeah. So I like that. And yeah, you know what? Again, a lot of it is just the things you put on yourself. And I think one of the other ways that they can overcome that nervousness, that fear, is just continually feeding your brain. Absolutely. Making sure that it shouldn't be a question as to what you're going to say, because you've already learned great scripts from people who know what they're talking about, and you practiced it, right?
Yeah, and most of the time, Brian, it's like, well, I forget the script. When do I say it? Which script was that? What? It's all that kind of stuff. But when you have a smile on your face, and even though you're nervous, it basically almost, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
Yeah, that's right. And so you and I were talking about different strategies that you wanted to share with everybody today, that they can go out and just immediately put in action. So, by the way, if you don't already have a pen in your hand, get a pen in your hand. So let's talk, Nolly. So you'd started with sphere of influence. So let's start there. Tell me about sphere of influence and how we can better work that to go get more seller listings.
One of the things that I learned, Brian, early on, according to NAR, the National Association of Realtors, they say that 70% of sellers listed their home with someone that was in their sphere of influence. Okay. Either a referral, someone that they knew personally, or someone that was somebody from church, told them about somebody else. It was somehow related in their SOI. So once we learn that 7 out of 10 sellers come from your SOI, that tells you that you got to work on your SOI. And I have people all the time, they tell me, well, I don't know that many people. I'm new to town. I'm like, well, how long have you been in town? Well, I've been here only a year. Well, do you realize if you went out and met 2 people a day, you'd have over 700 people in your database? That's a lot of potential business. So sphere of influence is the number one bucket. And one of the things I want you to do right away is go out and reestablish TOMA. First of all, work on your database, get it back together, and have somebody help you with that. Don't try to do it on your own. Have somebody that has the right disc profile, maybe a high, I don't want to get in the weeds here, but a CS or an SC, somebody that is administrative in nature can help you with that. It could even be a teenager in your neighborhood, or one of your own kids that has an aptitude. Have them put together your database for you, past clients, people all that. Get that database put together, and then reach out to them to reestablish TOMA. And the first conversation is just going to be an apology. Super duper simple. It's like, hey, Brian, hey, Nolly here. Hey, man, I know it's been a while since I have talked to you. I really apologize for not reaching out to you in the last couple of years. Every time that I've thought about you many times over the last few years. And every time I go to pick up the phone, something happens or whatever, I said, today's the day I'm going to call Brian and see how he's doing. That's it. And guess what Brian's going to do? He said, man, Nolly, it's good. No problem. Great to hear from you. Boom. You're forgiven. Okay.
That's right.
You got that out of the way. You swallow the frog. And then here's the next thing you do. Very important. Brian, would it offend you if in the future, because I have a commitment, a newfound commitment. I've been talking to my new coach, and I have a newfound commitment, okay, that I'm actually going to reach out to people that I love and admire at least a couple times a year. Would it offend you, Brian, to hear from me a few times a year? And you're going to say,
Who's going to say yes to that? Nobody's going to say yes to that.
Yeah, of course. No, that's not going to offend me. I'd love to hear from you. So what you've done there is you've just gotten their permission to reach out to them again twice a year, okay, which is what I usually prescribe at least. And then, and not only did you get their permission, now you have their expectation. They're waiting to hear from you, okay? So that just gave you a whole green light. You opened up the relationship again. And then the last thing I'm going to share on this is and I've got hours and hours and hours that we could go on, and I do that in the course. But the last thing for lack of time today, the last thing I'll mention is you don't want to end any conversation without letting them know what your need is. Like Scripture says, let your needs be known. And here's a very simple way to do it. At some point in the conversation, first I let people talk about their very favorite subject when I call them. I have no agenda. I have no script. I'm just calling to see how you're doing, Brian. I look you up on Facebook right before I call. And I say, hey, Brian, I see that, man, you guys just got a new puppy that, so-and-so is off to college. Man, how are you? I just want to see how you're doing. Boom. That's the conversation. And then Brian's going to tell me all about everything that's going on, what he's been. Eventually what happens is that the person's going to come back around to you. They're going to say, well, wait a minute.
What's going on with you, Nolly?
How's your life? Yeah, exactly. And so when they do, you say, hey, you know what, Brian, everything's going great for me. You know what, though? Now that you mention it, I got a big problem. In fact, maybe you can help me with my problem. And they're going to say, well, what's your problem? You're going to say, Brian, my problem is inventory. I don't have enough. I'm looking to help 3 families before the end of next month. By the way, who do you know that's thinking about selling or buying? I'm looking to help I got to help these families. By the way, if you don't have families that you need to help, all you got to do is call some of your colleagues here at EXP. Say, hey, do you have any buyers right? Yeah, I got 2 buyers right now. What are they looking for? I'm looking for 2. This one's looking for this. This one's looking for that. Okay, great. So if I find those listings, I'll let you know. Okay. So now you got 2 people you're trying to help, right? So it's easier than you think. And so I love it. Yeah. SOI is very important.
Yeah. People always want to help people that they know and like and trust. They want to help them in some way or another. The key is that know and like and trust. And that only happens by reaching out on a consistent basis, to your point. So
many times agents don't ask for business because they don't want to sound desperate. And this gives you a way to not sound desperate and still get to, the core of what you're looking for. And then guess what happens in 6 months when I reach out to you, or 3 months? It's the same thing. I'm helping. This time I'm looking to help 4 families. So your reticular activator is starting to be activated. That, man, knowledge really trying to help people. I got to start when I'm going to church, and as I'm at the, I got to start thinking about people that are looking to buy or sell, because he's trying to help people.
Yeah, that awareness really does bring it to the top of mind.
Super important.
So you talk a lot in the program about fear, and yeah, one of the things I know you talk about too is one of the big fears we have is that value, right?
Yeah,
I would call these folks, but I don't want to annoy them. I want to be valuable, and so you have some really great ideas about that. I wonder, can we switch gears though and talk about niches, because I know you're really big on developing niches. And can you give me an example of a niche and how we could be better working that for seller listing leads?
Yeah, I call it niche. Some people call it niche. But in Texas, we say you got a niche to get rich, right? When you think about a niche, you think about a cardiologist versus a general practitioner. Now, we know statistically that a cardiologist makes $153,000 more than a GP, okay? However, they work, now get this, they're making over 10 grand a month more, but they're working 30% less hours, statistically, 30% less hours.
You're in the wrong profession, my friend.
Yeah. Oh, well, here's the thing. Why do they make more money for doing less work? Well, it's because they're sought out. There's 3 things that you have when you have a niche. Number 1, you're sought out. Number 2, you're in demand. And number 3, you're relevant. You're no longer a commodity. No longer a commodity. I can go get my physical exam from any doctor. But now that I have a heart condition, guess who I'm looking for? The best. And I'm willing to pay more. No problem. So when you think about a niche, the one thing that I really want you to start thinking about is that you want to match your niche to your personality profile. Okay. You have a very specific disc profile. And I've taken all the profile tests that I can think of. The AVA, I've taken the Genius test, I've taken the Passion test, I've taken so many of them. The DISC, obviously. But one thing you'll notice is that if you want to become a divorce specialist or probate specialist, or you want to do expires or FSBOs, every single one of them is going to have a sort of slightly different personality profile. So I like to teach agents because I want it to be fun and easy for you. What group of niches would be best suited for you? You know, we've got and the list goes on and on. I teach 42 different niches, but the list can really go there could go into the hundreds of niches that you actually have. You know, it goes, you know, luxury. You could talk about, we have an agent that focuses on 1 acre plus. Okay. So if you have more than 1 acre, that's your guy. If you're, you know, lakefront, okay, waterfront, I mean, you name it, golf course. And niches can be type of property, or they can be, it could even be dog lovers. Okay. Let me just share this one real quick. There's one guy that he, as a real estate agent, is a dog lover, him and his wife. And so they do dog walks every Saturday. They have a newsletter that's actually written by their dog. Okay. They have a whole Facebook group dedicated to dog lovers. They have all these different things reaching out to dog lovers. They've got thousands of them in their community. And guess whose homes they list? People that are dog friendly, and they have, and they're icon agents, right? So there's all kinds of ways that you can niche, and I break that out. It takes a while to break out, but I want you to really be thinking about how to do this at a high level that suits you.
Yeah. You know, a lot of niches, as you say, have that kind of specialization of knowledge, you know, the luxury, commercial, you name it.
Yeah.
And even within commercial, there's 9 to 14 different specializations, depending upon how you look at it. But then there's that cultural component too, whether it be, you know, dog lovers or rodeo or whatever your culture is that you're most in tune with.
Absolutely.
If you can be the mayor of that culture, that group, man, you can dominate in any niche. I know an agent whose daughter was a world champion cutting horse rider, and she would just work the bleachers at the competitions, and all the parents knew her and knew that, hey, if I want an equestrian property, this was my person to talk to.
Wow.
Made a killing just
so
on
incredible.
that niche.
Horse properties. Yeah.
Horse
Equestrian properties. Yeah. I mean, that it really, the list goes on and on. I was coaching a gal last week who I said, what do you love doing? Okay. Because she had lost her mojo, lost her passion for real estate. I said, what do you love? She said, I love to cook. And so we started talking, and she went for an hour about that. So I said, why don't you just focus on cooking recipes? You don't have to even come up with recipes. You just share ones that you love, and sort of have a cooking, because she's very social, you know. Now there's some of us, Brian, that aren't social that way. No problem. Guess what? You could be doing probate, right? And because you know, there's always this thing where you're like, man, real estate would be so fun if I didn't have to deal with clients. Oh, well, hold on a minute. Probate, guess what? You know,
they're dead. So
your clients are kind of dead, right? Yeah, you know, we joke about it, but nobody gets out alive, right? So yeah, that's something that a person that is more of a high C profile, they might love that kind of thing. So you can get rich in any niche, and I show you how to do that. If I can get my hands on you and get you into this course, I would love. I don't want to, you know, beat a dead horse on that one, but this course, you know, I'm glad that EXP Elevate put this together, because I get to not hold back, and I have the time to really expand out on everything I want to teach. Powerful.
Yeah, 6 weeks plus the bonus 15 hours. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But before we do, I want to hit one last one, which is sort of a niche in and of itself, farming.
Yeah.
Geographic farming is basically a niche. Give me a sense, just give me like one great idea about what I could go do to dominate a farm quickly.
The big thing about farming is that you have to come up with what we call low to no cost ways of farming. And you have to think about it as a multi-tiered approach. You know, think about just like the military, if they're going to capture a specific town. I hate to put it into war terms, but if we're going to go capture a town and we've got a specific amount of time to do it, we're coming by land, we're coming by sea, we're coming by air. We got drones coming in. We're going to totally dominate. It's going to be overwhelming. Okay. You're going to have to surrender. All right. There's a new kid in town. Okay. And so that's sort of you're running for mayor. And because people tell me, Brian, oh, I tried to farm, but it didn't work. I said, what did you do? Well, I sent out postcards.
Newsletter.
Yeah, I sent a newsletter. Do you think that someone that's running for mayor will send a postcard out and expect to be elected? No, that's not how the campaign runs. So I teach you how to run a multi-tiered approach backed by sponsors who cover the entire cost. It won't cost you a dime to farm. Even your postcards are absolutely for free. So I don't know if we have time to get into that, but that some phenomenal things that you could do in farming. And when you think about it this way, it's a three-legged stool. Okay. So the three legs of your stool are your farm geographical area. Okay. Your specific specificity of real estate, your niche, and your sphere of influence. And most agents, Brian, that in my experience, have a one-legged stool. They're only maybe focusing on their sphere of influence, or they're only focusing on expireds. And if you have a three-legged stool, that's how you're able to list. People ask me all the time, Nolly, how in the world did you list 10 homes a month or more for over 10 years in a row? Well, I did this by having 3 lead buckets. So one month I would have 5 leads come from here, 3 from my farm, 2 from over here. And the next month it might be a different mix, right? But we had all 3 turned on. And there's actually 27 different techniques within the 3 buckets that I'm able to kind of really elaborate in the course itself.
Well, and I think that's another thing that holds agents back, is not only do they pick one avenue, but then they only pick one methodology within that avenue. And for example, with farming, you'd want to hit open houses, but if you're going to do open houses, you also want to circle prospect around the open house. Right. If you're going to do just listed, just sold postcards, which you absolutely should be doing in your farm, you also want to be doing circle prospecting around that. I mean, just complementary lead generation sources and multiple, as you say, by air, by land, and by sea, multiple ways of attacking each one of those 3-legged stools. And I know you go in depth in the program. So, speaking about the program, so 10 listings a month, we're going to fire up on August 6th. Now, I'm going to take you on.
So excited.
I am too, man. Well, he's going to take you on a 6-week adventure. And by the way, if you go sign up, we are going to give you a 15-hour series that Nolly has done as well, just for free. Just as a bonus for signing up for the program, we're going to give that to you as well. So make sure you go to expelevatecoaching.com and check out 10 listings a month with Nolly Williams. Nolly, as always, sir, thank you so much for coming on and sharing. We really greatly appreciate you and all you do for us.
My pleasure, Brian. It's so good for what you're doing, with what you're doing for us, man. We go back over a decade, and I'm glad to be working with you again right here at EXP, baby. Yes, sir.
I am too, man. All right, Nolly, thanks so much, man. We appreciate you. Back to you guys.
Wow. Such value. I mean, what do you say after that? Nolly just dropping bomb after bomb after bomb. And thank you, Knockout Nolly, for that. Oh, and by the way, it gets better. On Monday, actually this Monday coming up, which is the 5th, at 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern. Guess what? Nolly will be doing a free live training during that time point. Again, free 1-hour training, 8:30 Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And that's on Monday, this upcoming Monday, the 5th. So do not miss that. If you want more, that's just a fraction of the things that Nolly has and what he can do to pour into your business. So start with that, of course, on Monday, and then absolutely sign up for the Elevate Coaching Series. If you want 10 listings a month, I mean, I want 10 listings a month. If you don't want 10 months, let's do it this way. If you don't want 10 listings a month every month for the next 2 years of your business, don't show up to this class. All right. Is that fair? And if you do, then guess what? Do the opposite, right? Show up, sign up for Elevate Coaching, and get all this information, because you're going to need it going into this new environment. All right. So hope you got some value out of this. Hope you got some value from Dawn. Between Dawn's side, Dawn Consultory side, between Nolly's side, between what we're giving you, there is no excuse. There's no reason for fear, because now we know, Nolly taught us, you can transfer that fear into excitement and go dominate. You can go own your business for the next however long you want to do it. So shouldn't be afraid of the 17th coming up. Focus on the 18th and focus on right now. Now, that said, in case you missed it, we also had our earnings call just yesterday. A few highlights from there. Go back and watch the whole thing. We'll drop a link in there. But my gosh, EXP agents are happier. That's why we're happier than the history of EXP, right? Right now, our average NPS or our agent NPS is 76, which is up from 72. That means that our agents are happier right now than they ever been, even in the shakiness, even in the messy middle, as Leo calls it. Our agents are happier than they've ever been, giving us a 76. And by the way, that scale goes from a negative 100 to positive 100, and we rank a 76 among our agents. So we're crushing it as a company, and we're crushing it for you. That's the key. Also, real estate transactions have increased 1% year over year, up to 120,613 transactions. Come on, y'all. I don't notice. I mean, I hear the industry down. I hear the market's down. I hear things are crazy, but I can't tell, at least not on the EXP side of the fence. You all are absolutely crushing it. Over 120,000 transactions year over year. Also, transaction volume increased 7% year over year to 51.9 billion. In real estate, we call that almost 52. All right, just under $52 billion. That's billion with the B. EXP, we are absolutely crushing. I say we, but I mean you. The effort that you all put in every single day in every single way for your clients is showing up, and we're showing out as a company because of it. So go check out the full earnings report, the earnings stat. We'll drop that link in the chat as well. And then we want to see you in person. So we've heard Brian talk about all the breakout sessions we're going to have. You heard Dawn talk about all the fast track certifications that are coming up as well. Where are they coming up? In EXPCon Miami. We want to see you in Miami. It's going to be absolutely incredible. We have these add-ons, some of the things that they just mentioned as well, these breakout sessions. We have some add-ons. We have a 5K fun run and walk. You get to lace up and join the EXP community for an invigorating run, walk to extend for Extend a Hand. So Extend a Hand is our charitable organization. It's incredible. We're able to help and bless agents that are in need or struggling, going through a tough time for whatever reason, different natural disasters or even just life circumstances. We're able to bless agents through the Extend a Hand platform. So love for you to be a part of that. We also have the ability to elevate your ticket to either a VIP pass or even general admission. So by all means, you definitely want to be there. I can't imagine being anywhere else during the time EXPCon Miami is going down. If you haven't got enough, we got more stuff from you today. We got more stuff for you, I should say. We have our KGCI. If you have not checked into KGCI, you're missing out. That is our 24/7. Again, I'll say it again, 24/7 streaming service for agent specific content, real estate business specific content, everything that you see. If you want to hear more about NAR stuff, which I can't imagine you do, but if you do, if you need more, we have it there for you. You want to talk about growing your business, buy side, listing side. Hey, we got Knockout Nolly Williams there as well. We got so many people that are the top of the top echelon at EXP that are all on KGCI. So definitely you need to be there. Final announcement. Of course, we have our NPS survey. We want to hear from you. We do this not for ourselves. We don't put out content just for content's sake. We put out content for you, but the only way that we know if it's good content and if you're getting value out of it, and if you want more of something, you want Dawn to come and talk for a whole hour, she'll do it. I promise you. You want Nolly to come and talk for a whole hour. You want me? Well, I probably wouldn't do, but the point is, whoever you want to hear more of, let us know. Drop it in the chat. No matter where you're at, if you're on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, there's all kinds of buttons and things that you can click all of them and do something, right? So, give us an NPS and then hit the like button, then hit the subscribe button, and then click the bell, and then type in the chat, then share and follow and do all of the buttons that you see all around the screen. And that's all we got for today. But coming up next, we have our iConversations, which is going to be another incredible experience. We're going to transition this right over to them. But stay tuned because we have some incredible guests on our iConversations coming up. So that's it for the big agent meeting this Friday. Thank you all for coming in, for checking in. We'll be right here next week with even greater announcements. As Brian promised, we got updates on the new program that they just sort of rolled through, which is the Fast Cap program. They're going to have updates on that. Russ might even be back and talking about some cool stuff that he's got cooking. So we cannot wait to see you next week. You don't want to miss that. But for now, we'll kick it over to iConversations. Thank you all. Have an incredible weekend. That's it for today.